You wake up after what should have been enough sleep. The alarm sounds. You stare at the ceiling. Your body feels heavy. Your thoughts move slowly, and somehow the day already feels exhausting. You drink water, maybe coffee. You start moving, but the tiredness follows you. It sits behind your eyes during class. It turns simple work into a negotiation. By the afternoon, your brain feels wrapped in fog. Then night arrives, and somehow you are exhausted, but still not ready to sleep. This happens so often that it feels normal, but it's strange. Modern life has removed many of the physical demands that once drained human energy. Most of us are not carrying water for miles or searching the wilderness for breakfast. Yet many people feel tired before the day has properly begun. So what is actually making you tired? And why does resting sometimes fail to fix it? The first clue is that tired can describe two different experiences. Sleepiness is the pressure to fall asleep. Your eyelids become heavy. Your head begins to drop. Fatigue is different. Fatigue is the feeling that effort costs too much. You may not fall asleep, but thinking feels harder. Moving feels slower. Even answering a message can feel like unnecessary paperwork. You can experience either one or both. That matters because tiredness is not one signal coming from one place. It is more like a warning light shared by several systems. The obvious suspect is sleep. But here's what's interesting. Sleep's not simply a period when your body shuts down. Your brain remains active. It moves through different stages, processes memories, and support systems involved in attention, emotion, immunity, and physical recovery. Sleep is not an activity. It is maintenance, and both the amount and quality matter. You can spend 8 hours in bed without getting 8 hours of restorative sleep. Noise, temperature, stress, pain, alcohol, caffeine, or repeated brief awakenings can break the night into fragments. You might not remember waking up. Your body still notices. So the clock can say you slept while your brain feels like it worked the night shift. But sleep length is only one part of the mystery. Your body also runs on timing. An internal clock helps coordinate when you feel alert and when you become sleepy. Light is one of its strongest signals. For most of human history, bright light meant daytime and darkness meant night. Then artificial light changed everything. Now you can wake before sunrise, spend the day indoors, stare at bright screens late at night, and sleep at completely different times, depending on whether tomorrow is Monday or Saturday. Your schedule may look fine on a calendar. To your body, it can resemble mild jet lag. But there was another problem. Sometimes someone gets enough time in bed and still wakes up exhausted because their sleep is being interrupted without them realizing it. One possible example is sleep apnea. During sleep, breathing repeatedly narrows or stops. The brain briefly pulls the person toward wakefulness so breathing can restart. They may remember none of it. From the outside, they slept all night. Beneath the surface, the night contained a series of tiny emergencies. That is why persistent tiredness cannot always be solved by simply going to bed earlier. Sometimes the problem is not how long you slept. It is what happened while you were asleep. Still, sleep is not the entire story. The human body is built to move. When you feel tired, however, moving is usually the last thing you want to do. That creates a loop. You feel low on energy, so you move less. Less movement can make your body feel even more sluggish. Then activity becomes harder to begin. The couch starts as the solution. Eventually, it can become part of the problem. Food and drinks add another layer. Eating too little can leave you drained. Large meals can make you sluggish. Dehydration can make ordinary effort feel harder. Then there is caffeine. Caffeine does not manufacture energy. It temporarily interferes with signals involved in building sleep pressure. You feel more alert, but the need for sleep has not disappeared. The warning light has simply been covered with tape. Used late or frequently, caffeine can interfere with sleep. That creates more tiredness, which creates more caffeine. A suspiciously convenient arrangement for the energy drink industry. But here's what most people miss. Not all exhaustion begins in sleep or muscles. Some of it begins in attention. Your brain is constantly deciding what matters and what requires a response. Messages, deadlines, notifications, unfinished work, social tension, small decisions that keep arriving all day. Your body may be sitting still while your mind behaves like a security guard during a break-in. Stress can keep you mentally prepared for action, even when no useful action is possible. Thoughts repeat. Sleep becomes harder to begin. The following day, reduced energy makes ordinary problems feel larger. That creates more stress. The tiredness is real, even when you did not physically do much. But fatigue can also have causes that no productivity routine will fix. Anemia, thyroid disorders, infections. persistent pain, depression, medications, side effects, and sleep disorders can all contribute to fatigue. That's why constant exhaustion should not automatically be dismissed as laziness. Sometimes your schedule needs to change. Sometimes your sleep needs attention. And sometimes the signal deserves medical attention, especially when the fatigue is persistent, worsening, unexplained, or interfering with everyday life. This leads to the deeper problem. We treat energy like a moral score. The energetic person is disciplined, the tired person is lazy. But energy is not proof of character. It is the outcome of several systems interacting: sleep, timing, health, stress, movement, food, and environment. You are not a phone with one battery percentage. You are closer to an entire power grid. When one part becomes unstable, the others compensate. You drink more caffeine. You push harder. You sleep late on weekends. You stop moving because moving feels difficult. For a while, the lights remain on. Then compensation begins to feel like normal life. Tiredness is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is information. It may be telling you that you need more sleep, better timing, more movement, less mental noise, or help with something deeper. The mistake is not feeling tired. The mistake is hearing the signal every day and deciding it says nothing, because your body may not be failing to keep up with your life. It may be asking whether your life still leaves any room to recover.